Hello guys, it's Cav here, and today I'm going to speak about the Titan STRIFE, this new tier 8 heavy tank that just dropped into the game. It looks mean, it looks nasty, what to expect of it? It looks like a whole new beast, doesn't it? Well, stick around, there's quite a bit to happen into this video, but first, why not compare this tank to two other tanks that I'm quite interested in. So we have here the Titan against the 53 TP, which is one of the main heavy tanks on tier 8 right now, and the Shark T54E2. Well, let's compare it. First of all, you might see that the Titan has slightly better DPM than both tanks at 2187. You know, it is a little bit better compared to the standard tier 8 heavy tank with 400 alpha, which is nice, but the thing with this tank is it does not have 400 alpha. It actually has 340, which is quite disappointing. Quite a few medium tanks will hit harder than this tank, alright? That's what you gotta know. While the 53 TP has 420 and the T54E2 has 310, which is 30 alpha less, which, you know, okay. But the thing you gotta take in consideration is that the Shark has much better gun handling in general. Alright, so aiming time much better. Even the 53 TP guys, much better aiming time, much better dispersion values, better gun depression. The 53 TP with 8 degrees, while the Shark has 10 degrees, and unfortunately the Titan STRIFE only 6 degrees, which is so disappointing. I was expecting a bit more on this tank, and keep in mind I'm using the same equipment here for comparison. And on mobility, even the 53 TP is more mobile than the Titan STRIFE. Of course, the Shark will also be much quicker than it. So, realistically, what does this tank have on top of these two other tanks? Only a little bit of DPM and a little bit of alpha compared to the E2, but that's it, guys. That's it. It has a little bit more DPM. And it loses on aiming time. It has almost 2 seconds on aiming time, 0.32 on dispersion values, which is horrible. This dispersion on movement is also horrible. 6 degrees of gun depression, which is really disappointing. 32 kilometers an hour forward, 13 backward, which is horrendous. The Shark, the T54E2, has 20 kilometers an hour backwards. This thing has 13. Yeah, that's not good, is it? Well, let's see the armor, right? Let's see the armor. Guys, this is a T34 aiming at the Titan STRIFE, and you would expect a super heavily armored heavy tank, and that's not really the case, I'll be honest. You got points here where certain areas where no tank will pen, even a tier 10 wouldn't really pen it, which is this kind of like strip of armor on the hull which divides the lower plate and the upper plate, but that's about it. You have the turret, which is decently armored, but there is so many weak points, and I'm using AP rounds, guys. It is a bit disappointing, I'll be honest, right? Even on hold down, even if I'm using all my 6 degrees of gun depression, yeah, the upper hull does get better, still with some weak points, but as you guys can see, the turret, there's just no help in it. It is weak. It is weak. You will bounce occasionally, you will. If they don't aim, you will likely bounce. But just look at this, under the cannon, around the cannon, it's just so many. And look at this is horrible. Outside the turret, because of the back, it kind of, this bit sticks out, and it's just like a free penetration right here. So disappointing. And if you put APCR, there we go, turret becomes paper. You can pen pretty much anywhere aside from the top here above the cannon. That's about it. Of course, hull is still very well armored, and some places reaching 500 millimeters of armor, which is really good. But yeah, if you load premium rounds with this thing not being hull down, you're gonna pen pretty much everywhere. It's so many weak points. For side scraping, you'd think, oh, it might be a decent tank for side scraping. No, it's not, because you have weak points on the sides too, which prevents you from side scraping. Like, look at that. This is a weak point. This thing here, that's a weak point. Can you believe that? Yeah, disappointing. You would expect a little bit more, but one thing you can actually do to increase the armor of the turret, right, is, you can lift it. You can lift and hope that they will actually bounce, because actually it does look like, yeah, you can, yeah, because look, if the turret is aiming towards the enemy, you got all this here that's green, but if you lift it, you get rid of that, and then they can only shoot at the middle. It's oh man, it's difficult, but you do have the mechanic of this tank that makes it quite unique. Let's go to the game real quick, and you guys are gonna see what I'm talking about. It actually has the dynamic armor system, which is this little thing that if you activate it, you will receive 10% less damage from any type of shell. It does last 22 seconds, and it gives you extra armor in general. The armor kind of pops out of the tank. So let me show you guys real quick how it looks like. Okay, so this is the armor of the Titan when you're looking from a T-34, and I'm aware that T-34 has good penetration, but this is specifically why I picked this tank, because there's no point me picking a tank that has very, very low penetration and making this thing look really good. Now, you gotta be realistic. Most tanks will have decent penetration at tier 8, alright? So, okay, so that's the armor. You can tell that's all the weak points that I showed you on the armor inspection. But now, I'm actually gonna show you guys how this thing looks when you use the dynamic consumable. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. You can see some armor popped up. Now I can no longer penetrate this part of the hull, and the turret did get a little bit better as well, but still full of weak points. And if I load APCR, yeah, the turret is still gonna be a massive weak point. The hull becomes really decent, very decent. I gotta shoot over here and a little bit under the upper plate, but still there are weak points. It does get decent, but the turret is the main problem, so it is quite disappointing. Okay, now that you guys had a good look at how the armor of the tank works, yeah, let's have a look at the consumables that I'm using. Of course, I'm using one big kit, the repair kit, adrenaline, and the dynamic armor system, which is what makes this tank a little bit special, but really not that much, as you guys saw that the armor doesn't get that much better. We got provisions. I am currently using a protective kit because I'm only using one repair kit. I really don't want things to be breaking or crew to be injured or anything like that. So yeah, protective kit is what I recommend you guys to use. I'm using calibrated shells, defense system, improved optics, enhanced gun lane drive, enhanced armor, because I was trying to see how well armored this thing was. It's alright if you do change it to improved assembly. I'm just using this for the memes. Engine, accelerator, refined gun, toolbox, and high-end consumables. Really important for you to use this because this actually increases the duration of consumables. And yeah, if you don't use it, this will go from 22 seconds to 17 seconds. So make sure you actually use high-end consumables, okay? Anyway, let's actually play with this thing and see how it goes. Alright, let's see what we can do for our first match. We are actually against tier 8s, which is good. I'm not sure how this tank will actually perform against tier 9s. Imagine this thing against the E75 or Motion or something like that. It wouldn't be good, I'll tell you that much. We got a Arrow Champ to worry about, a Jag Tiger. Alright, let's see what we can do here. As you guys can see, penetration values aren't great on the AP round, but you can make it work. I actually put calibrated shells on it, specifically for the heat rounds. There we go, nice. I'm actually gonna try to be really, really smart here and do my best. Man, I'm up by myself, aren't I? I'm pretty much by myself here. That ain't good. That ain't good. Should I just retreat? Maybe I should retreat. I need to try to do that. Yeah, I'm too advanced by myself. It won't work. Let me go back, mate. Let me go back. Thank you very much. Please let me go back. fine. I've managed to get back to safety without actually getting punished that much, which is crazy to think about. Let me see. Look, this thing, yeah, you see, it is not good at side scraping. You shouldn't be side scraping with this tank. It just won't work. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna back off a bit. I want to back off because this tank is more of a support tank than anything else. Oh, hello. Fire? No. And you see that disappointing alpha. 300 damage for 9 seconds reload. This is crazy. And also, like, the values in terms of like gun handling aren't even great either. So this tank is just, it lacks, mate. It lacks. It just feels like I'm playing like a very nerfed shark. That's what it feels like. Oh, okay, we got a Jag Tiger here. That's not good. He has too much DPM for me. Let me see what I can do. Yep, there we go. Good, I'm just waiting for the perfect moment to use my armor. And you know what? I'm gonna use it now. Screw it. Interesting. What I figured is, if you do activate this this dynamic armor thing, the best thing to do is actually come on corners like that, because they won't have a shot at your turret. I think that's the best way to do it with it. There we go, you actually won. Yeah, I think that's the way, guys. Activate your dynamic armor consumable and just like try to pick the corner first with your hull. And then let them shoot, pay them to do that. I think that's the way to play this tank. But I still think this is just a very watered down version of the T-54E2. There is really no point of you spending your money to get this tank if you can get the Shark. Really, like zero. Why would you do that? There's no point. The Shark is just better in pretty much every single aspect aside from Alpha. This thing only has 30 more alpha than the Shark and just a tiny bit more DPM, like 60 DPM more, something like that. It's almost irrelevant, really. So Shark, quicker, better armored in my opinion, and better gun handling. It's just better in general. Okay, so this tank, kind of a disappointment. I understand that it's better to have a tank that's underwhelming than overpowered. But they could have done a better job at it, I think. You know, made it a bit quicker at least. You know, I think the way to fix this tank is just give it more mobility. It will perform. It would have been a great heavium if it was just a bit quicker. I don't know. Make it as quick or maybe a tiny bit faster than the Shark. Then it would have been amazing. But nah, you gotta make the tank super slow. And yeah, there's literally not much you can do with it. And also the 6 degrees of gun depression. Gosh, that's bad. And I kind of want to advance to the left hand side, but I got a 53 TP, which is better than me in pretty much everything. So what can I do against it? Not much. I can try to come all the way down here and help my Nebulon and my Brusque against all these mediums and tank destroyers. Let's have a look what we can do here. There's 3 mediums and 1 light tank on this match, so it's gonna be interesting. Ooh, wait. Let me see, maybe I can... Nah, T-49 is all the way back there. As you can see, you can't really afford to expose yourself. If they have a shot, they will penetrate you. Most of the times. There we go. Engine hit, which is good. Yeah, this is gonna be a loss. There's not much I can do on this one. Yeah, we got a few guys coming from town, which is great, but they're taking way too long. What are you doing, mate? Are you alright? What is my bro doing here? Canoning, what are you doing, mate? There we go. You know what? It's possible to turn this around. It really is, but I'm kind of by myself now, so I'm not sure anymore. Come on, tank. It's your time to shine. This thing is so slow, I'm scared to advance and having the mediums rush me. It's just that bad. Right, as long as the K2 and the Cavalry do something, we have a chance of winning. We really do. Okay. One shot into that 53 TP. He's the most dangerous tank right now. So it'd be great if I could take him out of the match. I'm actually capping this base. And yeah, nice. I think we're gonna turn this around, guys. There we go. It's not ideal, but we're doing it. They got a T49, which is great. And look at how slow this thing is. Oh no, this is bad. This is really, really bad. The mobility on this tank sucks so bad. Come on, boy. Come here, Astron. I'm coming for you. He's actually gonna have the mobility to run away. No, he won't. There we go. Fine. Okay, you know what? We actually managed to win. I didn't think we would have. Thankfully, our Kari and K2 were quite healthy. And we won. Fine. There was still like one. Was there someone else left? Yeah, there was. There was a guy that was AFK. It is what it is. But you know what? This tank kind of disappointed me. I didn't like it at all. I think it can work, but I felt like it's a bit weak compared to the other tier 8 heavies. In my opinion, just grab yourself a Shark, a T5042, or if you don't want to spend money, go for the Polish tier 8 heavy tank, which is one of the most OP tanks right now on tier 8, which is the 53 TP. Just go for it, my friend. Trust me, you won't regret it. This thing is free and extremely strong. All right. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel because there's a lot more videos coming up. Take care. Bye bye.